Right, and potentially moving back. We will discuss that in a moment. But 3, Jeremy, is the clear pivot point in this draft, and that pick belongs to the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, many prognosticators, draft analysts, scouts would tell you Ace Bailey has the 3rd most talent in the draft. But most people don't think he's going to be drafted 3rd by Philadelphia. What do you make of Ace Bailey, and what have you made of his pre-draft process and some of the negativity that's kind of in the headlines surrounding everything surrounding Ace Bailey?
If you are that confident in your game and you think you will step into the NBA and be a 15, 20-point per game scorer, then by all means, dictate where you want to go. The only problem with that is Ace Bailey's shot selection, the way he wants to play the game, might not be conducive to how the modern NBA is played. A lot of tough contested mid-range shots. The assist-to-turnover ratio isn't great, but that's why he's trying to go somewhere that will allow him the freedom, the offensive freedom, to grow game by game, and I don't think the 76ers are that destination.
Is Charlotte, and before we get to whether he'll wear a Hornets hat or not, because that's different, is Charlotte, and I know you don't want to draft on fit right now, but we heard from Jeff Peterson, this is a team right now trying to simultaneously, supposedly, compete for at least a play-in spot, evaluate its core, and see if LaMelo Ball specifically is a cornerstone of this roster. Does that fit in with picking a kid who looks to be 3 to 5 years away from achieving his potential, and in order to achieve it is going to need the time on an NBA floor?
I don't think so. A lot of people see Ace's talent and think, take the guy who's the best player remaining in the draft. And my pushback to that would be scaling back as a player is really hard. If you are a guy who has a shot diet, a shot profile that's set, it's really hard to say, you know what, I'm going to scrap that from my game and play to what Coach Lee in this perspective, in this scenario, what he wants to do. It's a lot harder for a guy like Ace Bailey to do that, and for that reason, I think getting a guy like Con Knipple or Trey Johnson, that's a more malleable player, would be better for the Hornets.
What do you think of the pre-draft process for the Charlotte Hornets? Because this is the 2nd year in a row we have not gone to workouts as the media. Those workouts have seldom been reported, and oftentimes when they do, they are misreported. I think in that vacuum of no information, you're getting a lot of misinformation. Now, I think we can deduce that Ace Bailey did not work out for the Hornets. He only wanted to work out for a few teams that are coming after the Hornets. But removing Ace Bailey from this question, what have you thought of Jeff Peterson's approach to, mum is the word in this process?
I like it. I do think that me as a spectator, as a fan, as someone who covers the NBA and this team specifically, I kind of want to put my blinders on when you're a month, a week out from the NBA draft, because like you said, there are so many reports coming. You don't know what's true. You don't know what's sticking. And I think Jeff Peterson might be using that to his advantage, especially with someone like Ace Bailey. If you can convince someone outside the top 4 that you might take him, then you could get some leverage to maybe trade back, allow them to give you some more draft capital, and then get the guy you still want. We saw this happen back in 2017 with the Celtics and Jason Tatum. They convinced the 76ers to trade up. They went back, and they still got their guy.
Just Jeff Peterson, as young as he is, have the savvy, the relationships around the league to pull something off. And if he does, where have we seen that in his, about 2 years on the job? Like, what moves stick out to you as, like, this guy – He knows a lot of people around the league, and he can get things done.
Nick, we saw it. We saw him pull off a trade with the Lakers for Mark Williams.
Well, yeah.
Where Hornets fans were saying, wow.
I don't see it in the history books, though. Where did it go?
It might be like the in-season tournament. Those stats don't show up on Basketball Reference, but that's a scenario where you were able to get Dalton Connect, someone that you were targeting in the NBA draft. You were able to get an unprotected first rounder from the Lakers that was really valuable. And the Lakers brass said, you know what? The reception we're getting from our fan base isn't what we thought. Let's try and go and reverse what happened. We have cold feet. That showed me that Jeff was able to make that trade. He had the savvy to go out and do that, but of course we know how that ended.
All right.